always, welcome back. So it has got to be Friday. It is our documentary of the week. And we are going to be rounding out the Paradise Lost trilogy in Paradise Lost 3 Purgatory, which came out, actually I should say aired back in 2011. And this actually, I know that this documentary, they were about to kind of like release it and everything, and then right around the time that they were going to release it, struck a deal with HBO. um like stuff, like new stuff kind of was like coming up, and stuff involving the guys and everything. And when I say guys, I mean Damien Eccles, Jesse Miss Kelly, and Baldwin. So those guys and everything, which I will get to in a minute. But so this one, like I said, was kind of like the last one of the trilogy itself, of the Paradise Lost trilogy. Now this one, I feel like each one has like a lot of like, I feel like sort of like bombshells and stuff and like all this stuff, but this one is definitely like, oh my god, like so many different revelations and everything in this. Let's first off start off with Mark Byers, because I know with the last one, I even kind of made a comment of like, you know, stick around for the third one because damn, dude, things about to change with this guy. So in the previous one, in the second Paradise Lost featurette, it definitely looked like Mark Byers was like the number one suspect. Like totally, just his behavior was very erratic, just very like, you know, like, I think I even said too, like, you know, I kind of get it, like, I would still be really, really, really upset, and plus now this, like, these documentaries that are coming out and everything, I would probably be a little, you know, off my chain too, but with this one, oh my goodness, to see the, like, complete, like, 180 turnaround that Mark Byers has done, like, very level-headed, very much like, you know, oh man, like totally, you see him for just like the person that he is, the you know, just everything about him. And he, even in this one, has admitted he's kind of come around in feeling that the wrong gentlemen are in prison for the slaying of these three young boys back in '93, and that's huge, okay, because especially in the second one, when that one was done, you know, like Damien Eccles and Mark Byers both were like, other guy did it, you know, very much so, and kind of rightfully so. I mean, I would totally kind of like understand that. This one though, Mark Byers definitely kind of like sees things a little more clearly, kind of sees more of like the evidence that like wasn't shown and whatnot, and different things that are now coming up, and he's kind of like, oh my god, no, the wrong guy is in prison, and, you know, I really am thinking that another one of us parents could have been the actual suspect. And that suspect, I should probably kind of mention it now, is Terry Hobbs, who, his son, or stepson, is one of the ones that was murdered, one of the young three boys that were murdered back in '93. This guy, oh my god, I don't know how he has flown under the radar during this whole thing and everything. I mean, I don't want to say like, yes, he is the one that did it, but I'm like 99% sure like you had something to do with it, because there's just so many things, so many kind of gaps and everything. Like a lot of his alibis were not checking out from like the time, or like when the boys were murdered. There's, you know, different sort of things that are pointing to him and everything. A couple of DNA things that not necessarily proving his guilt or anything, but definitely don't stack too well for his innocence. Basically, like, not quite enough evidence to prove that he is the one who did this, but it definitely, there's kind of enough where you're kind of raising some questions and some concerns of like, like I said, also to the alibis, like, you know, he has all these alibis, like, oh, well, from this time to this time, I was over with the Byers. Byers were like, Mark Byers was like, that, no, like, he wasn't with us during that time, like, what do you know, like, several, actually, alibis that Hobbs had given, they all, you know, they were all being checked out, and none of them were cleared. Everyone denied all the alibis and everything surrounding Hobbs. And even a neighbor who used to live 3 doors down from the Hobbs family, they were, I guess, kind of like, in a rush trying to go to church. They saw the 3 young boys together, and, one of them said, oh, so, go, go back home. And then they saw Terry Hobbs come out with the boys after they found out that he said that he had not seen the boys that night at all. And it's like, okay, witness right there. And, like she even said, this witness said, like, I kind of brought it up to the police and everything, but no one ever checked on it. No one even came over. No cops ever even came over. Like, I would think that they would, considering we lived 3 houses down from them and everything. Never came to, like, speak to us or anything. Just a lot of different things. A lot of, like, I don't want to say new evidence, but a lot of evidence, kind of like with the second one, a lot of evidence really being looked over again about, what was going on. A lot of the crime scene photos and everything. Once again, a lot of people were saying, there was no blood, considering that the, cuts and everything and all this. There was no blood. A lot of the scratches and everything, we think, really doesn't look like actual, like, knife wounds or anything, or cutting. Those are wounds from an animal that you would expect to see in the woods next to, like, a little stream or lake or whatever. So just a lot of things like this that were coming up, and a lot of this stuff was kind of coming up, like, last minute, like I was saying a few minutes ago, right before this documentary was gonna air and everything, so they kind of halted production to really make sure to get everything. So it's just, there's a lot of, like, different things like that. And even at one point towards the end, they're talking to Hobbs, and they're something about there's I guess an altercation between him and his wife, then wife, who, she got upset or something because, like, he was showing us some attention to another female, and they were bringing up, well, was that in retaliation because a few weeks before your son's murder, is it true that you caught her kissing someone else? Like, what's, just kind of like asking, like, what was up? And he was being really kind of shady about and everything. He's like, well, go ask that Mexican. She was kissing some Mexican. Like, what? I'm sorry, us Mexicans have names, dude. Okay, asshole. Just saying. But it just, things like that. And then, his, ex-wife, I should say ex-wife because they're no longer together, Pam Hobbs, she was even kind of saying, in an interview, like, shortly after the murders, after the murders happened, saying something like, oh yeah, no, he doesn't get mad, he gets even. How would we get even with that? Hey, you go kiss someone else, I'm gonna go kill your son. I mean, I that's so, like, bad to say, but that's kind of like, wow, so you got pissed off at your wife because she was all smooching someone else, so there's your motive, or part of your motive, just saying. But yeah, and she, and here's another key point, Pam Hobbs, who, did an interview, I think it was, like, 2007 or something, so a few years before the, third Paradise Lost, years and years later after the first 2 documentaries and everything, and she even was saying, like, she said on film, like, I would really like to see, Damien Eccles and Baldwin and Miss Kelly, I would really like to see them get another trial, an actual fair trial to, possibly prove their innocence, because, I'm really kind of questioning if they're really the ones who did this. I mean, I don't think she really, like, confirmed or denied if she fully believed that they were guilty, but she was definitely kind of questioning, like, something's not right. There's a lot of things that, like, looking back, like, where my emotions are still high, but not as much, where I can kind of see certain things, a little bit more clearly, a little more focused, a little more, level-headed, and not so much with my emotions. Because, I mean, obviously, once again, the way that a lot of the parents were acting, especially, like, like Mark Byers and stuff or whatever, I mean, it's totally understandable, like, that they would seem to be like apeshit crazy, because if I lost my 8-year-old kid like that, I would probably be doing the same thing, acting the same way. Just saying. But yeah, so that's, you know, a lot of these different things are coming up. You know, Eccles, we know, is again over and over again trying to get an appeal, have a retrial and everything, and of course, every single time, nope, 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 nope. But yeah, and we're left at the end of the movie, and this was another big thing that they really wanted to kind of include to see one way or another of how this would happen, and included in this documentary that that all three men actually have been released from prison. Like, they were shooting this as it was happening, but there was a catch. They were not cleared of the murders, but they had to, you know, they were being released, and the kind of the deal was, well, you know, you kind of have to say that you're guilty, so that way we can kind of have, like, both parties sort of satisfied. Like, yeah, you guys can walk, but for those families and stuff and people who think you did it, we kind of need to say you still are guilty about it. And I give Jason Baldwin, a lot of credit, because on film, like, he was, you know, when they were being released and they were having the press conference, he said, you know, I really didn't want to do this plea deal, but my buddy Damien over here is on death row. He, you know, he could be killed for doing a crime he had nothing to do with. This is an innocent man that you guys wanted to kill for a crime he didn't do. So just a lot of things like that, and just, you know, to see kind of this, you know, documentary series kind of like come full circle and everything is, it's just, it's an eye-opener, I feel like, you know. And once again, whether or not you feel like these guys did these crimes or not, I mean, that's up to you. I'm not going to sit here telling you you should feel like these guys are innocent. That's just my own personal opinion. I think these guys are innocent. You know, but definitely watch these. I mean, I think it'll, you know, even if you think they're guilty, I think it'll open your eyes quite a bit and make you kind of question some things. So yeah, but you know, check these documentaries out, you guys. I highly recommend them. It just really kind of shows across the board how corrupted the justice system is and everything. So, but check it out. Let me know what you guys think of them, if you guys have been watching them and everything. Till next time, as always, you guys, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.